Good morning, students. Good morning, Parth, Nikita, Sangeetha, Neha, Ajay, Kadambari, and all others, you guys. Yes, Jennifer, Rituraj. So, sir, कैसे हैं स्टूडेंट्स आप? सब मजे में? सब लोग ठीक हैं? So, students, as you know, we are in chapter number 4, audit evidence. So, on Friday, we were doing essay 501. So essay 501 relates to, as I told you, about three things. One is about inventories, of obtaining sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding inventories. And second is about litigation and claims involving the entity. And third is about segment information. So inventory portion we had discussed on Friday. So we had understood that how an auditor obtains sufficient appropriate audit evidence in respect of inventories. We had also understood very clearly that that an auditor has to attend inventory count process of the entity unless it is impracticable. And what are the steps he needs to do at the physical inventory counting process? That we had also studied, that he understand the management's instructions for inventory count, he evaluates a management program, he inspects the inventories, he performs test counts. So all these things we had discussed. And we had also discussed that how an auditor obtains sufficient appropriate audit evidence when inventories are lying with third parties. Say the company, the organization has sent some goods on job work, then obviously these goods would not be lying at the entity's premises. These would be lying at somebody else premises, at somebody else factory. So how the auditor obtains sufficient appropriate audit evidence? We had also discussed this. So we had completed the first part out of the three in essay 501 relating to inventories. So students, this essay is very important from examination point of view. Particularly the inventory part is very important, and questions are being asked routinely from this part. So as far as examination is concerned, essay 501 is quite important, and within essay 501 inventory part is relatively more important, is rather, I would say, is one of the favorites of the paper setters. So students, now we come to the second part, that is pertaining to litigations and claims involving the entity. So this part relates to what are the duties of auditor, how an auditor obtains audit evidence in case there are some matters under dispute, in case the company the matter is under litigation, it is under a legal dispute in a court of law. So what are the responsibilities, what are the duties of auditor in this regard, how he has to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence? So we shall discuss this. And then there is a small part relating to segment information that we will be also discussing. And after that, we shall be going to another very important essay SA 505 that pertains to external confirmation procedures. So that is also one of the very important essays in your syllabus. Okay, students. So let us see what is there in your module. So litigation and claims, students, we are at page 4.72. Last at the end. We are at the end of page 4.72 of your module. So what does this say? This says that auditor shall design and perform audit procedures in order to identify litigation and claims involving the entity which may give rise to a risk of material misstatement. So what is the duty of auditor? The duty of auditor is to design audit procedures in such a way to so that he can identify that what is the risk of material misstatement in case of issues which are under litigation, or there are some claims involving the entity which are under dispute, which are under some legal process, like say the income tax department has raised some demand against a company, and the company has gone against the order of say tribunal in the high court. So these type of things. Okay. So what is the risk of material misstatement here, students? What is the chance in such matters that financial statements may be materially misstated? So it can relate to either adjustments or disclosures. So such matters may not be properly disclosed in financial statements, or when provisions are needed, the required provisions have not been made in accordance with AS 29, which you would be reading in your accountancy classes. So these are the areas, these are the chances, these are the areas where there is a risk of improper disclosure, non-disclosure, non-making of provisions, under provisioning. So these are all type of things which can lead to risk of material misstatements in financial statements. So how the auditor shall proceed in such a case? Number one, inquiry of management, including in-house legal counsel. So this inquiry is one of the very general audit procedures. Say you are an auditor, so you do not know that the company has filed some cases. So how do you come to know? First of all, the basic thing is that you would inquire from the relevant person. You would inquire from the management. Okay. And say there is a legal counsel, standing legal counsel within the company who handles legal matters. So you would inquire from him. He tell us what are the what is the status of legal cases. Okay. And second possible ways, reviewing minutes of those charged with the governance and correspondence. Say the management is holding board meetings from time to time, and is important matters including the litigation matters where company has gone against some decisions in a court of law, are obviously and naturally discussed. And say the company may have hired some lawyer for this purpose, who is handling one lawyer or many lawyers who are handling these important cases. So what transpired at those meetings? Uh, so these how the auditor obtains evidence about it. These the auditor can have a knowledge of it by reviewing minutes of the meeting. Okay, so minutes of the meeting, students, you remember that it is also audit evidence. It is information obtained which is not there in accounting records. Remember the definition of audit evidence as per SA 500, which we had done at the beginning of this chapter. So these are the ways, students, how you have to correlate the things, how you have to link up the things. Okay, so if you try to recall definition of audit evidence, students, we had understood that audit evidence is the information on the basis of which conclusions are drawn for arriving at auditor's opinion, on the basis of which auditor's opinion is based. And information includes information from accounting records and other information. And this is an example of other information. Reviewing minutes of the meeting. Yes. And third thing is reviewing legal expenses account. So this is also very genuine, logical thing to do. So if in your statement of profit and loss, legal expenses account is coming, so obviously you would know that some expenses have been incurred in connection with some matters which are in litigation, which are under dispute. So obviously there would be some payments made to lawyers. Okay, so in case there are some payments made to lawyers on account of legal expenses, you would be inquiring on what account these payments are being made, what is the matter under dispute. So this is the one of the most logical thing for the auditor to do, isn't it, guys? So students, in case अगर एग्जाम में आपको कुछ भूल भी जाता है, इफ यू फॉरगेट समथिंग, डू नॉट गेट इनटू पैनिक. इट इज नेचुरल फॉर यू टू फॉरगेट समथिंग in the exams due to vastness of syllabus or due to so much information which you are going to digest, which you are going to remember. But do not panic, just write logical things, and you would find it to your amazement, students, that whatever you write logically, this would also find place in your module, and in all probability this should be the right answer. But logical things, even logical things, you just can't write in air. For this you need to have a sound understanding of the subject, and you must have gone through each and every page of your module. Only then your logic will apply. Even if you forget some point, and in that case, if you think logically and write it in your own way, there is a good probability that you would arrive at the right answer. Okay. Yes, Ashok, whatever your queries are coming relating to inventory count, will be taking at the end when queries will be taken. Okay. So litigation and claims involving the entity may have a material effect on the financial statements, and thus may be required to be disclosed or accounted for. So this I am telling you. that litigations might have to be disclosed. Because why? Because these might turn out to be contingent liabilities. These might turn out to be liabilities for the entity in future. So disclosure might be required. Or if there is a probability of, or if there is a chance that that liability is certain and it can be determined what is the liability amount, then provision may have to be made in accordance with ES 29. Okay, so that is why students, litigations may be necessary to be disclosed, or these may require to be accounted for. Adjustments might be needed for such claims in form of making provisions. So therefore it becomes very important for the auditor to design his audit procedure so as to identify any probable chance of any probable risk of material misstatement on account of litigations and claims involving the entity. So clear, students? So students, another important thing is that if the auditor assesses a risk of material misstatement regarding litigation or claims that have been identified, the auditor shall, in addition to the procedures, in addition to these three procedures, in addition to these three procedures, the auditor shall also seek direct communication with entities' external legal counsel. Now, students, say the auditor has reviewed legal expenses account. He has also sought information from the management, and he is of the view, he has a doubt that there is a chance of misstatements, of material misstatements in financial statements on account of this factor. Okay, so in such a case, he may communicate directly with companies, entities, external legal counsel. External legal counsel means lawyer. So a lawyer through which the company is being represented in court of law. So the auditor may directly communicate, like he may issue a letter, he may issue an inquiry letter to the lawyer. So the lawyer whose service the lawyer whose services are being used by the company, the auditor can send a inquiry letter to him. See, um, if the auditor is of the view that the procedures he has performed, like inquiry and reviewing legal expenses account and reviewing minutes of the board meetings, these are not sufficient to to bring into light all the litigation and claims involving the entity, to bring into light all the litigation matters. Then he can make a direct communication with companies legal counsel, with companies external legal counsel. So how he can do it? He can do it by sending a letter of inquiry. Letter of inquiry. So what is a letter of inquiry, students? Letter of inquiry is a general letter inquiring about the status of the legal cases with the lawyer of the company. So perfectly logical. So ऑडिटर के पास स्टूडेंट्स और तो कोई रास्ता नहीं है जानने का कि लीगल केसेस का क्या स्टेटस है। उसको स्टेटस पता चलेगा, लॉयर इन्फॉर्म करेगा, तभी तो वो उसको देख पाएगा कि इसको कॉन्टिंजेंट लाइबिलिटी में दिखाना है, इसको प्रोविजन में दिखाना है, व्हाट ही हैज टू डू। ओके, so but it may also so happen students that that lawyer is not able to, he is not able to respond to the request of auditor, because it might so happen it is prohibited by law, because such matters may are definitely confidential. So or by the code of ethics of lawyers, they may be not allowed to communicate regarding their clients confidential matters. So then the auditor shall perform alternative audit procedures if it is not possible to do so. Okay, so whenever such a communication is made, the auditor usually sends a specific letter of specific inquiry, okay, containing that such matters, कि आप हमें बता दें, आप हमें inform कर दें कि what are the matters under which company is in litigations, okay, and he also write that in respect of such matters management has told so and so things, that this is the status of the this legal matter, and these are its probable financial implications. Say that management has told us that you have advised the management that that the company is likely to win the case, that there are say precedents, there are case laws which are in favor of the company. So therefore provision is not required, or therefore only a contingent liability is required. So these type of things, and kindly confirm whether you agree with the management's viewpoint. It may so happen that that management may be misleading the auditor, and the lawyer may not agree with the outcome of the legal cases which management has told the auditor. Okay, so this is the only way by which auditor can get information regarding litigations and claims involving the entity, and to reduce the risk of material misstatements on this count. Okay, and it also says students that in certain circumstances the auditor may also judge it necessary to meet with entities external legal counsel to discuss the likely outcome of litigation or claims. So in some cases where auditor sees is of the view that there is a significant risk, say the matter involves into hundreds of crores, okay, or the amount is very material, that it can change the whole picture of the financial statements, or the matter is very complex, it relates to some such matter that it is very complex and it involves so many legal intricacies, or when there is apparent disagreement between the management and external lawyer, external legal counsel. So in such cases the auditor can also meet company's external lawyer. Okay, and if the management refuses to give the auditor permission or to communicate or meet with external lawyer, or external lawyer refuses to respond appropriately to the letter of inquiry or is prohibited from responding, and auditor is unable to obtain sufficient of appropriate audit evidence, then auditor shall modify the opinion in accordance with SA 705, which you would be reading later on. So what is the meaning of all this? Say if management does not allow the auditor to send a letter of inquiry, ठीक है, वो कहते हैं जी हम आपको लेटर ऑफ इंक्वायरी भी नहीं भेजने देंगे, ना हम आपको अपने लॉयर से मिलने देंगे, और से लेटर ऑफ इंक्वायरी भेज दी बट लॉयर कैन नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड ड्यू टू सम issues, okay, then it says either the auditor shall perform some alternative procedures, like he would try to collect audit evidence from whatever alternate procedures he thinks are the best in the circumstances, and if those alternate procedures are not sufficient to provide him reliable and relevant audit evidence which is sufficient and appropriate in that case, then he will consider its effect on the audit report. Then he will see what are the implications for the audit report and his opinion. Okay. Clear, guys? Yes. Yes, students, clear to you? So this is fairly easy to understand part of this essay with not so much technical things to remember. It is general. So if you understand the things and see, it is quite logical too. So again, I am repeating it, that auditor shall design his audit procedures to see that if there is any risk of material misstatement on account of litigation and claims. So SA 501 talks about 3 types of procedures. So SA 501 talks about 3 types of procedures in this regard. What are these 3 types of procedures? Number 1 is inquiry. Inquiry of management से पूछेगा, ओके, एंड अगर कोई उसका कंपनी में कोई लॉयर है उसकी पेरोल्स पे, इन हाउस लीगल काउंसिल है, तो उससे पूछेगा. एंड सेकंड थिंग इज रिव्यूइंग minutes of board meetings, which may throw light upon the some communication with which the management has made with its lawyer, with its external lawyer. And third is reviewing legal expenses account. So easy to remember that obviously if you are talking about litigation, so obviously you would be reviewing legal expenses account, which appears in the ledger of the company. Because why? Because it would throw light on the type of payments debited in the in legal expenses account, like payment made to lawyers. So say the entity may have been making payment to 5-6 lawyers. So you would be coming to know on what account these payments are being made. So on what account means you would be coming to know what are the matters under dispute. Okay, and the auditor can also send a letter of inquiry to the external lawyer, and in circumstances the auditor can also seek meeting with the external lawyer of the company when say the matter is very complex or it carries a significant risk. The risk of material misstatement is huge. Say the risk is of such an implication that it can distort the complete picture. Say it may convert profits into losses. the risk is so great. Okay, then in such case, the auditor may think it necessary to seek a meeting with the lawyer of the company, and these kind of things. And third point in relation to it is when the auditor may feel it necessary to meet with the lawyer of the company, when he thinks that uh, that what the management is telling him, and and there is a possibility that what the management is telling him and what is the viewpoint of lawyer, there is likely to be great divergence in both the things, and management might be misleading him. So in such circumstances, the auditor can meet the external lawyer of the company, and if he is not able to meet for some reason, or if the management doesn't allow him to meet or to send a letter of inquiry, then obviously he has to perform alternative audit procedures. So in essay, students, one thing is there, that some specific things are written which are required to be done. So if those things can't be done, then essays give an option. Almost in every essay, there is an option to perform alternative audit procedure. So obviously the auditor would perform alternative audit procedures from other sources, from any other type of procedure through which he can obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. But if he is not able to obtain even by performing other alternative audit procedure, then he shall see what are implications for his audit report, and he may have to modify his audit report in accordance with SA 705. Okay guys, so this is again brief summary of this part of SA 501 relating to litigations and claims involving the entity. So I think you have got a broad view of this area. Yes. Now we come to the another part, small part of this essay, that pertains to segment information. To what does it pertain? It pertains to segment information. So what is segment information? So students, this topic of segment information, this you would be studying in quite detail in your accountancy classes under AS 17. Okay, so you would get a clarity of thought when you would read AS 17, and this portion, this is very small portion of SA 501. This portion you would be able to do automatically by way of knowledge you would have gained in your accountancy classes pertaining to AS 17. Okay. So, but for the time being, we shall discuss the relevant part. So what is segment information? Students, segment information refers to information about different type of products. Yes, Rituraj, you are saying you have studied segment information, so that is fine enough. That's very good. So segment information refers to information about different type of products and services of an enterprise and its operations in different geographical areas. So what happens is that, say, sometimes a company or entity may have maybe into business of, say, different products, different type of products, like it may be manufacturing into cement, into manufacturing of cement, and it may be also manufacturing into paints. So these are two different type of products, same company, and it is carrying out two activities or more than two activities, or say the company is carrying out these activities in different geographical areas. Say one type of business is being carried in India, one type of business is being carried in some other jurisdiction in some European countries, say. So these AS17 states that segment information has to be disclosed in the financial statements. Okay, so this is the only requirement, that the financial statements are being prepared for the company as a whole, but the information about different segments is to be disclosed in the financial statements. Okay, so what are the segment revenues? What are the revenues segment wise? What are the say segment profits? What are the segment assets, segment liabilities? So what is the purpose of all these, students? Yes, can you tell? Yes, can anybody tell, students, what is the purpose of disclosing this segment information? Now try to think logically as an auditor. Try to think as an auditor. What is the purpose of disclosure of segment information in financial statements of company? So students, you now might also be understanding that how everything is correlated, that how auditing is correlated with accountancy. So many things you have read in accountancy, you would be finding their applications here. Yes, Rito Banerjee, you are saying correctly. To have a better understanding of the operation of the company. Yes, that's fine. So that readers of the financial statements, they are in a better position to know about the activities of the company. So they know that the company is into manufacturing of these kind of products, and there are the sales pertaining to, say, X line of activities are such, and revenues from Y line of activities are such, and assets pertaining to this line of activities are so much, and assets pertaining to this line of activity are so much. So they can have the purpose of all AS17 is transparency, is to bring about transparency and better understanding. Okay. So the auditor shall obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence regarding presentation and disclosure of segment information in accordance with financial reporting framework. How he shall obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence? He shall obtain an understanding of the methods used by management in determining segment information. So obviously, first of all, he will try to understand that what are the methods by which the company is arriving at segment information. It is only when he knows about the methods, then only he can say that whether the information disclosed is correct or not. Okay, and performing analytical procedures. Then he will try to perform analytical procedures. He will try to derive some sort of relationships between different items to see that what is disclosed is proper or not. So this is the duty of auditor in case of segment information under SA 501. So obviously, while designing his audit procedures, he has to do two things. So one thing is कि आप मैनेजमेंट को बता दो कि भैया आपने सेगमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन कैसे डिस्क्लोज की है, हमें समझा दो जरा कि आपने हाउ यू हैव डिस्क्लोज द सेगमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन, so that he comes to know that whether the method by which the management has disclosed segment information that is proper or not, and then to perform some sort of analysis on this, and then to perform analytical procedures on it, to see that information disclosed is not misleading, it is proper. Okay, so fairly simple, easy thing. So another thing is the auditor's responsibility regarding presentation and disclosure of segment information is in relation to financial statements taken as a whole. So what does this mean, guys? So say a company is having uh, it's a holding company and it is also having subsidiaries. So the duty of auditor is to see that segment information is enclosed in consolidated financial statements. It is not his duty to see that that it is disclosed in standalone financial statements. So when consolidated financial statements are prepared, he is required to perform audit procedures on financial statements as a whole, of the company as a whole, combined together. Okay, so while understanding methods used by the company in disclosing segment information, the auditor will see how the assets have been allocated, how the costs have been allocated. Say there are some assets of the company which are used combinedly for all businesses. It is not possible to divide those assets. Then what is the method by which the company has allocated uh, uh, some assets to say a cement business, like in the case of company we are talking about, and some assets to paint business, how it has done that, how it has arrived at that proportion, and consistency with prior periods. That is also a important point for him to see whether the method used by the company in prior periods is consistent in the current year, same method is being followed, or some another method is being followed, and if some another method is being followed, then how it is changing the whole picture, whether change in method has been properly disclosed or not. So comparison with budgets, this is also self-explanatory. Sales charges between segments. Say if one segment is there are transaction between two line of activities between two segments, then how those transfers are accounted for, how those transfers are eliminated in the overall in the combined picture. So these are the things which the auditor has to see. So it is very fairly simple and directly connected with your understanding of AS 17, sorry. So it is directly connected with your understanding of AS 17, that is segment information. Okay, guys. So with this, we have completed, students, essay 501. Okay. So now we come to another important essay, students, that is essay 505. Essay 505. So that is a very important essay, students, and you have to understand this essay quite well. Essay 505. So students, we had learned in our last lecture that external confirmations are a type of audit procedures. Remember, we had learned that external confirmations are a type of audit procedures. What were other audit procedures? Inspection, observation, inquiry, recalculation, reperformance. Remember? And external confirmation is one of such procedures. It is an audit procedures by which auditors obtain audit evidence. So we had also read in SA 500, SA 500 that when an evidence is obtained from a source which is outside the entity, which is outside the company, that is more reliable. Remember reliability. And we had also learned that audit evidence, when it is obtained directly by the auditor, is more reliable. And we had also understood that when audit evidence is obtained in documentary form, that also increases its reliability. So all these three things are features of external confirmation procedures. Okay, clear guys? So when an auditor sends an external confirmation request, when he performs external confirmation procedure, then he is obtaining audit evidence from whom? He is obtaining audit evidence from a person which is outside the company, which is outside the entity, जो कंपनी के बाहर से है. तो जब आप किसी डेटर को आप लेटर भेजते हो, कंफर्मेशन भेजते हो अपना बैलेंस कंफर्म करने के लिए, तो जो उसका रिस्पॉन्स आएगा, द रिस्पॉन्स यू वुड बी गेटिंग, it is from outside the company, it is not coming from inside the company. So that is more reliable, and it is obtained directly by the auditor is sending the confirmation, and the third party is responding to the auditor directly. So that is also a key feature of external confirmation procedure. And third is that it is always written, it is always documentary, verbal नहीं. आपने फोन किया, सर वो आपका जिस कंपनी का हम ऑडिट करना उसमें 5 लाख रुपए बैलेंस है, क्या आपकी बुक्स में इतना ही बैलेंस है? ये एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन प्रोसीजर नहीं है. इट इज इन रिटन फॉर्म, ईदर डॉक्यूमेंट्री, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक और सम अदर डिजिटल वे. You can send a letter, you can send a mail, but it needs to have some trail. It should show that you send some request. Okay, so these three features make the definition of external confirmation procedures. These three features fix the scope of SA 505. It shows the matters with which SA 505 is dealing. तो ये तीन चीजें आपको हमेशा स्टूडेंट्स, जब हम एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन प्रोसीजर्स के बारे में बात करते हैं, तो ये तीन चीजें आपको हमेशा अपने माइंड में एस्टेब्लिश करनी है. नंबर 1 इज दैट एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन प्रोसीजर्स, the auditor, these are performed by the auditor directly. The auditor is getting response directly. Number 2, these are always in documentary or documentary form, whether this form is paper, electronic, whatever else, but it should have some evidence. that you sent those requests and you received back the responses. And third is that it is obtained from outside the entity. So that is why it becomes more reliable. Okay, so these three features of external confirmation procedures you have to remember. So scope of this essay, students. Essay 505 external confirmation deals with the auditor's use of external confirmation procedures to obtain audit evidence in accordance with the requirement of Essay 500. So what does it say? This says that external confirmation deals with the auditor's use of external confirmation procedures. That this essay uses external confirmation as a procedure to obtain audit evidence as per requirement of Essay 500. So what is the requirement of Essay 500? That the auditor should obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. That auditor should obtain audit evidence which is relevant and reliable. So therefore Essay 505 deals with these things. Okay. So it helps the auditor to obtain reliable and relevant audits. So now Essay 505, students, defines some things. It defines some terms first of all. So it defines external confirmation. So that is the definition of external confirmation which you have to remember. So it states that external confirmation is an audit evidence obtained as a direct written response to the auditor from a third party, which is called as confirming party, in paper form or electronic form or other medium. Okay, so fairly simple. When an external confirmation means the response. So one is external confirmation procedure. Procedure means sending request and receiving back the response. And external confirmation is the final thing which the auditor has obtained. It is the audit evidence obtained as a direct written response. Remember, it is a direct written response. It is not an oral response. It is a direct written response to the auditor. ऑडिटर ने लेटर भेजी कि आप बैलेंस कंफर्म कीजिए या आप अपनी स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अकाउंट दीजिए, और थर्ड पार्टी ने उसका रिस्पॉन्स किया, उसको रिस्पॉन्ड किया, उन्होंने लेटर भेजी. सो दिस इज द ऑडिट एविडेंस obtained, which we call it as external confirmation. It means that external confirmation request which was sent by the auditor has been responded to. Okay, so remember, students, now definition of other terms, and there are some other terms which are defined in Essay 505. So students, you have to understand meaning of all these terms. You have to understand meaning of all these terms. 4 definitions are there. So आपको इन चारों के meaning जो है you have to remember. So one is positive confirmation request. So positive confirmation, what is positive confirmation request? Positive confirmation request है simply means when auditor sends a request to the third party and it asks him to either agree or disagree with the information in the request. Say company का बैलेंस किसी पार्टी का कंपनी की बुक्स में बैलेंस 5 लाख रुपए है, सो ऑडिटर जो उस पार्टी को लेटर भेज रहा है उसमें लिख रहा है कि आप बताइए कि वेदर यू एग्री विद दिस और नॉट। दोनों अगर एग्री करते हैं तो भी बता दीजिए, डिसएग्री करते हैं तो भी बता दीजिए। सो इट इज कॉल्ड पॉजिटिव कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट, where the third party, where the confirming party has either to agree or to disagree. So it is the positive confirmation request. And what is the negative confirmation request? Negative confirmation request is when the auditor is sending a letter, auditor is sending a confirmation request, and he is asking that party to respond only if he disagrees. So here in positive confirmation request, it was agree or disagree. But in negative confirmation request, it is only disagree. So the auditor says that if you disagree with the information, then you respond. Otherwise, you need not to respond. So it is another way of sending confirmation request. It is another type of confirmation request. Clear, guys? And third is non-response. So what is non-response, students? Non-response means the auditor sends a confirmation request and the third party does not respond or does not respond completely to a positive confirmation request. To a positive confirmation request. Because नेगेटिव कॉन्फर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट में तो उसको तभी रिस्पॉन्ड करना है जब वो डिसएग्री करे। सो अगर उसने पॉजिटिव कॉन्फर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट भेजी है और थर्ड पार्टी जो है उसको रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करती या कंप्लीटली रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करती, जहां वो जो रिक्वेस्ट भेजी है, से आई सेंट ए लेटर बाय स्पीड पोस्ट एंड दैट लेटर केम बैक अनडिलीवर्ड, that letter say came back that address does not exist, that there is no such party, or the party refused to receive that letter. It can also happen. Then it can also come back. So it is called non-response. It is called non-response. And fourth is exception. Now what is exception? Exception means that the party has responded, but there is a difference in the information which was sought to be confirmed and which the party has given. So there is a difference in the information sought to be confirmed. So there is a difference in the response from what you were trying to confirm. So a response indicates a difference between the information requested to be confirmed or contained in entities records and information provided by the confirming party. So that is exception. Exception means obviously which is different, which is out of the way. So it is the meaning of exception. So four things, I am again summarizing these four things, four definitions in essay 505. Number one is positive confirmation request. Number two is negative confirmation request. Third is non-response. Fourth is exception. So positive confirmation request means such request when the auditor sends a confirmation request asking the party either to agree or disagree with the information sent by the auditor. Okay, or providing the requested information. This is also part of the positive confirmation request. Say the auditor leaves the information blank. He designs confirmation request in such a way that please fill the party's balance the company X balance in your books as per your records. He does not provide him the figure, so he leaves the amount blank. He asks the party to fill that balance. So that is also a positive confirmation request. Okay, so positive confirmation request means the request when the auditor either ask the party, request the party, confirming party to either agree or disagree with the information sent by the auditor, or to provide the requested information. And number two is negative confirmation request. So negative confirmation request means when the auditor requests the third party, the confirming party, to respond only in the case when it disagrees. तो अगर वो डिसएग्री करती है तभी रिस्पॉन्ड करे, उसको हम नेगेटिव कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं, कहते हैं if it agrees then you need not respond. It means that auditor would impliedly understand that the balance is confirmed. And third is non-response, when the party does not respond or the confirmation is returned undelivered. So these are called as non-response, or when the party does not respond fully, gives only part information, which is of little use to the auditor. And fourth, exception. Exception means when there is a difference between the information sought to be confirmed and the response given by the party. So that is a exception. Exception means out of the way, not happening the way you intend. Okay, so it is exception. So again, this you can say sort of diagram is there, again containing or highlighting all the definitions. So remember all the definitions. So students, I have been telling you this essay 501, essay 505, these are one of the two important essays in your exams. Okay, so it is routine to be to be asked question on from these essays. Okay. So external confirmation procedures adopted by the auditor to obtain audit evidence. Now, when an auditor uses external confirmation procedures to obtain audit evidence, now how does he basically do it? How does he basically do it? So it consists of these steps. So these are, you can say, sort of steps. Steps to be followed by auditor, you can say like this. So these are again, students, very common sense, logical type of things. So अगर आप स्टूडेंट्स आप इसको मॉड्यूल को आगे ना देखें, मेरी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है, और my request is you not to see the module and tell from your own mind कि you want to apply, you want to perform external confirmation procedure, you want to send external confirmation request to a third party, to a say a debtor, to a trade receivable. Then what steps you will take? Just do not see from your module, because when you will write the language from module, I will know that you are writing it by copying from the module. Just write from your own mind, just by plain common sense. Just by plain common sense सोचिए स्टूडेंट्स कि आपको एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन प्रोसीजर भेजने हैं, आपने परफॉर्म करने हैं, और आपको रिक्वेस्ट भेजनी है, तो आप क्या करेंगे? What you will do? Logically, what you will do? So yes, anybody, students? Logically, what you will do? Yes, guys, waiting for your response. Yes, Priyanka is saying email them. Yes, that's one part of it. Take on call. We'll check what information is required to be confirmed. Yes, Suman Goel, you are right. That is one of the steps. Meenakshi, through mail or letter of inquiry. Yes, that is also one step. Write a letter, send a notice of about our queries. Not notice, Ankur. Not notice. Yes, Anmol Patwa. Yes, you are right. Firstly, we want to see to which debtor we have to send and then send it. Yes. Yes, send a direct letter. I will use a mail. Yes, these kind of things. So this is the way, guys, you have to think. आपको चीजों को रट्टा नहीं मारना है स्टूडेंट्स, आपको अंडरस्टैंड करना है, अंडरस्टैंड करने के बाद उसको रिमेंबर करना, दैट इज द पॉइंट। स्टूडेंट्स, ऑडिटिंग में स्टूडेंट्स क्यों फेल होते हैं? ऑडिटिंग में स्टूडेंट्स की पुअर परफॉर्मेंस क्यों होती है? देयर आर सम रीजंस फॉर इट। नंबर वन, they do not devote enough time to the subject. Okay, they spend, say, most of the students spend 60-70% of their time in preparing for numerical papers, in solving numericals. So there is a disproportionate devotion of time. And second is that there is attention deficit. There is attention deficit. So what I call, what I mean to say by attention deficit is that when you are reading something, your span of concentration is less. So many students in reading, they don't want to read, they don't want to put effort. Okay. And third thing is that even the students who understand, they only understand and they do not remember. So therefore, they also are not able to write in the exams. So only those category of students who understand the subject well and then remember it also well, they score handsomely in auditing paper. Students, if you understand the auditing and remember auditing also, remember the key terms, remember the key phrases, remember the key points, then auditing is the safest paper to score high. But students do not understand this, and they cut a sorry figure, and many students fail in auditing. They get 20 marks, 25 marks, these kind of things. So first step, students, is determining information to be confirmed. Obviously, first step for the auditor would be क्या confirm करना चाहता है वो, what he wants to confirm, whether it is an trade receivable balance, whether it is a trade payable balance, or whether it is the terms of contract which he wants to confirm. It can be many things. So first step is what is the information. So students, again, I am deviating a little bit. in paper of auditing, students also fail to understand the questions. वो जज ही नहीं कर पाते. स्टूडेंट्स फेल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट टू राइट इन द क्वेश्चन. उनको ये पता ही नहीं चलता कि इस क्वेश्चन में लिखना क्या है. तो आधे तो स्टूडेंट्स इसका गलत आंसर दे देते हैं और फिर वो बाहर आके देखते हैं वो ये तो आता था. वो क्यों? व्हाई डज दिस हैपन? व्हाई डू दीज थिंग्स हैपन? These things happen because number one, you do not understand. Number two, because you do not remember. You do not remember. आपने उन चीजों को बार बार अपने दिमाग में प्रैक्टिस करके एस्टेब्लिश नहीं किया हुआ. आपने उनको बार बार उन चीजों को प्रैक्टिस करके अपने दिमाग में एसिमिलेट नहीं किया हुआ. एग्जाम में आपके पास इतना टाइम नहीं होता कि आप एक क्वेश्चन को पढ़ के और उसमें सोचते रहें 10 मिनट के लिए. वो तो इमीडिएटली क्वेश्चन, द मोमेंट यू रीड द क्वेश्चन, द आंसर शुड कम अप इन योर माइंड like a light of bulb. It sparks. So similarly there should be a spark in your mind कि ये okay, this thing is to be written here. तो ये कब आएगा? This comes with the practice. एक दो बार की कैजुअल रीडिंग से नहीं आने वाला है स्टूडेंट्स. आप ये इसको अंडरस्टैंड कर लें. ओके. सो डिटरमिनिंग द इंफॉर्मेशन टू बी कंफर्म. नंबर 2, सिलेक्टिंग द अप्रोप्रिएट कंफर्मिंग पार्टी. ओके. सबसे पहले तो you would determine which information is to be confirmed, and second thing is you would determine to whom confirmation request is to be sent. Okay. Third step is selecting the designing the confirmation request. आप डिजाइन उसको लेटर को भी तो प्रॉपरली ड्राफ्ट करेंगे. यू वुड डिजाइन योर confirmation request. Okay. And fourth is sending the request including follow up requests. और उसके बाद रिक्वेस्ट को भेजेंगे और जो उसका रिस्पॉन्स है उसको इवेल्युएट करेंगे, या फॉलो अप रिक्वेस्ट कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आता है तो उसको फॉलो अप रिक्वेस्ट भी भेज सकते हैं दोबारा. जहां कोई इंफॉर्मेशन इनकम्प्लीट भेजी है तो उसको क्लैरिफिकेशन के लिए कुछ आप फॉलो अप रिक्वेस्ट भेज सकते हैं. सो 4 स्टेप्स हैं स्टूडेंट्स. फर्स्ट, यू हैव टू डिटरमिन द इंफॉर्मेशन टू बी कंफर्म्ड, सिलेक्ट द पार्टी to whom confirmation request is to send. Third is design the confirmation request, and fourth is send. Simple logical things. Okay. But you have to, anyway you have to remember. So आपके पास एग्जाम में इतना टाइम नहीं होगा स्टूडेंट्स कि आप एक क्वेश्चन पे 10-10 मिनट लगा लें, वो जैसे कि मैंने आपको पहले बताया. सो डिटरमिनिंग the information to be confirmed or requested. So that is the one of the important things कि आपको इंफॉर्मेशन कौन सी कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट के लिए, कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए आपको कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट भेजनी है. लाइक इट मे रिलेट टू accounts receivable, it may relates to accounts payable, it may relate to terms of some agreement, it may relate to terms of some contracts. So this is the first part, and second part is selecting the appropriate confirming party. Okay. So आपको रिक्वेस्ट किसको भेजनी है? आपको रिक्वेस्ट उस आदमी को भेजनी है जो कि उस बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड कर सके, दैट यू थिंक इज नॉलेजेबल. सपोज आप कोई चीज कंफर्म करना चाह रहे हैं और वो आप कंपनी में जिसमें भेज रहे हैं, किसी दूसरी कंपनी में, आप उसमें किसी ऐसे आदमी को भेज देते हैं जिससे कि उसका कोई रेलिवेंसी नहीं है, जिसको कि उसके बारे में कोई नॉलेज ही नहीं है. सो ऑब्वियसली आप उसका क्या रिस्पॉन्स एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे? यू वुड नॉट गेट एनी रिस्पॉन्स, और यू वुड गेट ए रॉन्ग रिस्पॉन्स विच मे बी टोटली आउट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट. ओके. सो सिलेक्टिंग द अप्रोप्रिएट कंफर्मिंग पार्टी. एंड थर्ड इज Designing confirmation request. Third is designing confirmation request. Now, how you have to design? So the confirmation request has to be designed properly. And what are the factors to be considered? कि उससे ऑडिटर कौन सी असर्शन टेस्ट कर रहा है. से अगर मैं सिर्फ मेरा पर्पस यही है कि वो बैलेंस एग्जिस्ट करता है या नहीं एग्जिस्टेंस, तो मैं उस चीज से सेटिस्फाइड हूं कि वो पार्टी कंफर्म कर दे कि इतना बैलेंस है और उसका रिस्पांस आ गया. सो आई वुड बी टेस्टिंग, आई वुड बी सेटिस्फाइड अबाउट द एग्जिस्टेंस assertion ऑफ दैट बैलेंस. और उसका फॉर्मेट क्या होगा कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट का? स्पेसिफिक आइडेंटिफाइड रिस्क ऑफ मटेरियल मिसस्टेटमेंट. क्या चांसेस हैं उसमें? जब ऑडिटर ने रिस्क असेसमेंट किया था, फ्रॉड के क्या चांसेस हैं? आप कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट किसको भेज रहे हो? किसी रिलेटेड पार्टी को भेज रहे हो या किसी थर्ड पार्टी को भेज रहे हो? और ऑडिटर का प्रीवियस एक्सपीरियंस क्या रहा है इस बारे में, वो भी डिपेंड करेगा कि कुछ पार्टीज हैं जो कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट का आंसर ही नहीं देती. मेथड ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन क्या है? कैसे रिक्वेस्ट भेजना चाहोगे आप? मेल से भेजना चाहोगे, स्पीड पोस्ट से भेजना चाहोगे? कैसे कैसे विच मेथड वुड बी यूजफुल? क्या आपके टाइमलाइंस क्या हैं? व्हाट आर योर टाइमलाइंस? ओके. And whether management also takes interest. It asks its suppliers and its buyers, it gives them a general message that our auditor is sending confirmation request, so you are requested to please respond to our auditor directly. Whether the management is encouraging its confirming the confirming parties, say its suppliers or its buyers, to respond directly to the auditor. So it is a sort of encouragement that management a little bit persuades, it pushes little bit, it nudges them, it nudges its suppliers, yeah, its buyers to cooperate with the auditor. So this way say other parties, the third parties, they would be more inclined to respond. Okay, so if they get a general letter from the management that our auditor is going to send you confirmation request, kindly directly respond to the address given in his letter, so then it is a sort of general encouragement, a gentle encouragement. Okay. The ability of the confirming party to provide the requested information. So obviously that information should be available with the confirming party. That confirming party should have that information in his possession to respond. So these are again very general points. So positive confirmation request. So students, what we had learned about positive confirmation request? We had learned that a positive confirmation request asks the confirming party to reply to the auditor in all cases, where the auditor agrees or where the confirming party agrees or whether the confirming party disagrees, or to provide the requested information. It may so happen that auditor is leaving the information blank and is asking the third party to provide the requested information. So this is also a this is a positive confirmation request. So a response to a positive confirmation request ordinarily is expected to provide reliable audit evidence. So generally, what does SA 505 state? It states that evidence obtained from positive confirmation request. that response which is obtained as a result of sending positive confirmation request, it provides a reliable audit evidence. It provides an evidence which can be relied upon, which is trustworthy. Okay. So, but there is a risk that a confirming party may reply to the confirmation request without verifying the information is correct. So that risk would always be there. So आप किसी को कुछ काम करने के लिए कहते हैं, वो काम करे या ना करे, गलत ढंग से करे, तो रिस्क, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रोबेबिलिटी, चांस तो हमेशा किसी चीज में गलत होने का रहता ही है स्टूडेंट्स. देयर वुड ऑलवेज बी ए चांस. प्रोबेबिलिटी तो हमेशा रहती है. सो द ऑडिटर कैन रिड्यूस दिस रिस्क by stating by giving the blank information or by asking the party to fill the information himself or herself. Like I told you that the auditor leaves the information blank. Okay. So the auditor leaves the information blank and it asks the confirming party to fill the information. So obviously when confirming party fills the information, then it would be filling this information only from its own records. So there is a less likely chance that it would provide wrong information. Clear, students? Yes, guys. Determination of properly addressed requests. So it is very important that auditor should send the requests at proper addresses, because if he does not send the request at proper address, then it can it may impact his audit efficiency. He may, if the address is not correct, then his work burden would also increase. So these kind of things. Follow up of confirmation request. Say when some request response has not been received, then the auditor can send a follow up request. Say the auditor would wait for 7-10 days. If the response has not been received, then again another communication can be sent. Or if the response is not complete, then another confirmation, another request, follow up request can be sent. So these are the kind of things, students. Yes, guys. Yes, guys, is it clear to you? Yes, students, fairly general things. Yes, students, is it clear to you, guys? Post a mail, students. Is it clear to you? Are you able to hear me? Are you able to see me, students? So now we come to another subtopic, that what happens if the management doesn't allow the auditor. What happens if the management doesn't allow the auditor to send confirmation request? Management does not cooperate, or they put restrictions on the auditor to send confirmation request. So what happens in such a case, students? Again, think logically. अगर मैनेजमेंट आपको अलाउ ही नहीं करती है कॉन्फर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट भेजने के लिए, so what auditor can do? So first of all, he would ask, बताइए कि क्यों नहीं भेजना है, आपको क्या दिक्कत है, you tell us what is the problem. He would inquire from the management that what is the reason for their refusal. Why are you not allowing us to send a confirmation request? and the auditor has to then consider whether the reason given by the management is valid, reasonable, whether such reason can be relied upon. Like say students, sometimes it may so happen कि किसी मैनेजमेंट का किसी पार्टी से डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है, से दो 2-3 साल हो गए डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है. वी टेक एन एग्जांपल. सो पार्टी पैसे नहीं दे रही, so the management is more interested in recovering the money, obviously, like any prudent entrepreneur, any company would be interested in first recovering its money. So unki, say let us assume that there are talks going between between our company of the of which the company of which we are auditing and the third party. So मैनेजमेंट फील्स, अब ऑडिटर कहता है कि मेरे को इस पार्टी को कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट भेजनी है. सो मैनेजमेंट इज ऑफ द व्यू पॉइंट कि अगर आप वैसे ही उससे हमारा डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है, तो अगर आप इसको कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट भेजते हैं तो उस टाइम हमारी नेगोशिएशंस शायद दीज माइट बी इन डेंजर, आवर नेगोशिएशंस माइट गेट डीरेल्ड बिकॉज इट वुड नॉट बी इन गुड टेस्ट, और कुछ पार्टी से भी हमारा जो थर्ड पार्टी है उससे झगड़ा चल रहा है या डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है, सम सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग. सो उस केस में, इन सच केसेस द ऑडिटर कैन थिंक अबाउट द रीजनेबलनेस, बट द मैनेजमेंट हैज टू प्रोवाइड सम एविडेंस. ये बात हवा में नहीं हो सकती. द मैनेजमेंट वुड ऑब्वियसली शो सम एविडेंस, like look, these are our negotiations, these are, we have talked to them on mail, we have been talking to them on mail for last 1 year, and these are negotiations taking place. One of our senior persons has met their senior persons, and he met him on that date. So if you send confirmation request, we might lose the money. So these kind of things can indicate the reasonableness of the management's request. But other general things कि हाँ भाई डिफिकल्टी है, नहीं हमारा पार्टी से रिलेशन खराब हो जाएंगे, without giving any evidence is of no excuse. This you have to understand. So you have to evaluate the reasonableness of management's request for not sending confirmations. Okay. Evaluate. Now second step is evaluate the implications of management's refusals on auditor's assessment of risk of material misstatement, including risk of fraud. See students, this, if the management is not allowing you to send confirmation request, it should lead to alarm bells ringing in the mind of the auditor. जैसे टीवी का एंटीना है ना, so that should, उसको अलर्ट हो जाना पड़ेगा कि मैनेजमेंट रिफ्यूज कर रही है, व्हाई इट इज रिफ्यूजिंग, व्हाट कुड बी द प्रोबेबल कॉज. कोई फ्रॉड भी हो सकता है, उसको उसका वो रिस्क ऑफ मटेरियल मिसस्टेटमेंट के ज्यादा होने के चांसेस हैं. मतलब उसको व्हाट SA 505 इज सेइंग that auditor has not to take in it in a lighter way. He has not to take it as a routine manner. He has to evaluate the implications of such refusal on risk of material misstatement, including risk of fraud. कि ये भी possibility है कि there might be some fraud and then management is not allowing me to send confirmation requests. Okay, and if the management's request is reasonable, then perform alternative audit procedures. So ये students, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था कि अगर आप confirmation request नहीं भेज पा रहे या मैनेजमेंट का जेन्युइन कॉज है, जैसे कि हमने पिछले एग्जांपल में समझा So the auditor has a choice to perform alternative audit procedures. But again, these audit procedures should be able to provide reliable and relevant audit evidence. These should be able to provide sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Okay. So if the auditor concludes that management refusal to allow the auditor to send confirmation request is unreasonable, and it is not possible to obtain, again the same thing, students. So one option is given, either to perform alternative audit procedure. If you are not able to get reliable and relevant audit evidence, then again you have to communicate and see what is the impact, and you may have to modify your opinion in accordance with SA 705, which you would be reading in your chapter on auditor's report. So three things: inquire as to management's reason for refusal, evaluate what are the implications of management refusals on risk of material misstatement, including fraud risk, and perform alternative audit procedures. If no sufficient appropriate audit evidence, reliable and relevant audit evidence is obtained for by performing alternative audit procedures, then opinion may have to be modified. Okay, so reasonableness, refusal, this we have already discussed. जो मैंने स्टूडेंट्स आपको एग्जांपल दिया था कि मैनेजमेंट का कोई लीगल डिस्प्यूट चल रहा है या मैनेजमेंट का कोई नेगोशिएशन चल रही है पार्टी की, और जो मैनेजमेंट है वो ऑडिटर को उसके बारे में अपनी रिक्वेस्ट की रीजनेबलनेस के बारे में कोई एविडेंस देती है, देन ओनली ऑडिटर कैन एक्सेप्ट such request. Okay. Implication for the assessment of risk of material misstatement. Now this I have already covered, that if the management refuses, then obviously the auditor would have to see that it might lead to increase in chances of material misstatement. It might lead to increase in risk of material misstatement. Okay. So what could be the alternative audit procedures? Alternative audit procedures could be like, say, if I am talking about trade receivable balance, then whether the payment has come from the in the subsequent period, or if I am talking about the trade payable balance, if the payment has been made in the subsequent period. Okay, or if the sales made to that party can be verified from other things. Okay, so these are example of alternative audit procedures. So students, another thing is negative confirmation. Negative confirmations. So negative confirmation, students, हमने पढ़ा था कि negative confirmation request, when the auditor sends negative confirmation request, it means that the confirming party has to respond when it disagrees with the information requested for. If it agrees, it need not respond. So अगर जिस पार्टी को रिक्वेस्ट भेज रहे हैं अगर वो डिसएग्री करती है, सपोज मैंने लेटर भेजी कि 1,00,000 रुपए बैलेंस है कंपनी के अकाउंट में मिस्टर एक्स का, और मिस्टर एक्स को कहा अगर आपकी बुक्स में भी इतना बैलेंस है तो आपको कंफर्म करने की जरूरत नहीं है, अगर इसमें डिफरेंस है तो आप कंफर्म करें. तो देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज नेगेटिव कंफर्मेशन. So students, but SA 505 states that negative confirmation provides less persuasive audit evidence. So these are less convincing. What is less persuasive means these are less convincing. The evidence provided by negative confirmations is less reliable. you can say it is less persuasive, less convincing than positive confirmation. Okay, so therefore SA 505 states that auditor shall use negative confirmation requests only when following conditions are present. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 conditions, if these are present, then only in such cases the auditor has to use negative confirmation request. Otherwise, the auditor shall send positive confirmation requests only. So, what are those 4 conditions? Those 4 conditions are that risk of material misstatement assessed by the auditor is low. So auditor ने assess किया है कि there is less likelihood, there is less chance that there are errors or frauds in the financial statements. So there is less probability, less risk of material misstatement. First condition is this. So all these 4 conditions have to be satisfied before the auditor chooses to send a negative confirmation request. And second is that the population consists of large number of small homogeneous account balances. So what does this mean, students? This means, say आपने ट्रेड रिसीवेबल्स को, आपने डेटर्स को, जिसको कंपनी ने माल बेचा है, तो आप क्वेश्चन काफी छोटी छोटी पार्टीज हैं उसमें, ठीक है, से उनमें से सबको एक ही टाइप का माल सेल हो रहा है और से उन सबके बैलेंस 1 लाख रुपए से कम है, तो स्मॉल बैलेंसेस हैं. सो ऑडिटर अपना काम बढ़ाना नहीं चाहता, ही सेंड्स नेगेटिव कॉन्फर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट कि आप इसको तभी रिस्पॉन्ड करें अगर आप डिसएग्री करते हैं, इफ यू डिसएग्री. So that is also one of the condition. Third thing is that very low exception rate is expected. So this is connected to this point. When risk of material misstatement is low, then obviously he would be expecting little difference. The auditor is expecting little difference. He is expecting low exception rate, that the chances that the information sought to be confirmed, that there would be some sort of difference between the information sought to be confirmed, is very nominal, is very little. So in that situation, he can use negative confirmation request, and the auditor is not aware of conditions that would cause recipients of negative confirmation request to disregard such requests. से ऑडिटर का पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस ऐसा नहीं है कि उसने नेगेटिव कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट भेजी हो और किसी पार्टी ने उसका बैलेंस में डिफरेंस भी है फिर भी उसको डिसरिगार्ड कर दिया हो. सो अगर ये 4 कंडीशंस ऐसी हैं तो ऑडिटर को नेगेटिव कॉन्फर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट भेजनी है, अदरवाइज ही इज नॉट गोइंग टू सेंड नेगेटिव कॉन्फर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट. ही वुड normally send positive confirmation requests, and you have to understand that positive confirmation request provides more reliable audit evidence, provide more persuasive audit evidence than negative confirmation requests. So ये 4 conditions जो है ये भी आपको दिमाग में रखनी है. कई बार स्टूडेंट्स इस पे कॉन्ट्रा क्वेश्चन आ जाता है, क्योंकि नेगेटिव कॉन्फर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट ये थोड़ा सा डीप में चला जाता है कि नेगेटिव कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट एक तो ऑडिटर जनरली भेजता नहीं है, और भेजता है तो क्या कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होनी चाहिए. तो समटाइम ए क्वेश्चन कैन कम ऑन दिस एस्पेक्ट आल्सो. 4 पॉइंट है, 4 नंबर का क्वेश्चन आसानी से बनता है इसमें. यस, नवनीति कृष्णन, यू आर आस्किंग होमोजीनियस, एक्सप्लेन. होमोजीनियस मीन्स ऑफ सिमिलर टाइप, like I have given you the example that a party is that a company has sold some goods to some debtors, if one type of product to debtors, and all the products are sold to small retailers who are small retailers sitting in their little shops in small towns. So nature of balance which is sought to be confirmed is similar. All persons are retailers, small retailers. All persons are having balances less than rupees 1 lakh. So there is a sense of homogeneity. ऐसा नहीं है कि किसी पर that one party is having balance of 50 lakh, one is having 1 lakh. So this is called homogeneity. Okay. Yes, Navneet Krishnan, is it clear to you? And evaluating the audit evidence obtained. So obviously, students, whatever the response the auditor is getting from sending his confirmation request, he has to evaluate it. He has to evaluate it. He has to see it's whether it is reliable, whether it is relevant. Okay. So like the auditor may categorize such results: a response by confirming party indicating agreement. तो अगर तो वो agree कर रहा है तो it is okay. A response deemed unreliable, like say the auditor have some information in his possession by which integrity of confirming party is in doubt, so he may consider this response as unreliable. Or if some no response is coming, if it is a then it would also alert him that why response is not coming. Say if the confirmation letter sent by the auditor has come back from a large number of trade receivables, say उसने 100 confirmation requests भेजी and 20 confirmation requests have come back, that letter has not been delivered. So what it would show? It would show that these balances may be fake. The sales may be fake. The parties do not exist at all. Okay. Clear, students? Yes. So students, we have done essay 505 also, and so at this stage, guys, we'll take a little break of 5-7 minutes. So see you back, students, after 5-7 minutes. So break. Yes, welcome back, guys. So, students, we have done remaining part of SA 501 today and also SA 505. So, students, we shall also be doing some questions today. Before that, let us see what you are seeking. What are your queries? So, पहले आपकी queries ले लेते हैं, guys. So, Ashok Kharyal, yes, you are saying please explain point C under para 4.2 on page 4.68. This is open before me, Ashok. These points relate to segment information, which we had discussed right now in detail. So, as I told you, Ashok, that SA 501 deals about three things. One is relating to entities or entities inventory. Second is relating to litigations and claims. And third is relating to segment information. So we have today discussed that part of SA 501 which relates to segment information. So when a company deals in different products, or it operates in different jurisdictional areas, geographical areas, where the revenues and profits may be determined differently. So it is necessary to disclose information pertaining to different segments in the financial statements. Okay, so as to give better understandability to the readers of financial statements, to the users of financial statements, and this segment information is disclosed as keeping in view requirement of AS 17, Accounting Standard 17, which you have studied already in your accountancy classes. Okay, so SA 501 details about the duties and responsibilities of auditors while verifying these items disclosed on account of disclosed as part of segment information by the company. Clear? Yes, Ashok Kharyal, is it clear to you? Yes. Darshana, in-house legal counsel. In-house legal counsel means a legal consultant who is within the company, who is on the payrolls of the company. So in-house, whenever these terms students comes in your module, in-house means a person who is within the company. So you know about a house in which we live in. If some person is there in that house, so it becomes in-house, as simple as that. So in-house means a person who belongs to the company, who is on the payrolls of the company, in-house. Yes, Anmol Patwa, in what is the difference between in-house and external legal counsel? So it is clear from what I have stated just now. In-house means the person who is internal to the company, who is on the payrolls of the company, and external means a lawyer who is providing his services to the company. He is not on the payroll of the company. He is external to the company. He charges a fees and provides his services. He may be representing the company in courts of law in various legal matters. Yes, Swati, again, same thing. So, Swati, you are asking letter of inquiry is also called as external confirmation. No, Swati, you can't call letter of inquiry as external confirmation per se. It should be called as letter of inquiry only. Okay. How can management refuse to give permission to auditor Meenakshi Tripathi? So this we have discussed already, Meenakshi. The management may cite some reason. The management may give some reason that we shall not allow you to send the confirmation. Yes, Gaurav, again, this point, what is meant by those charged with governance? It means the people who are responsible for managing the company, like board of directors. Those people who are responsible for running the show of the company. Those charged with governance means those people who are responsible for governing the company. Yes, Rishabh Jain is saying, can we do relevant case studies with the concept itself? Yes, Rishabh, we shall be doing some case studies, and probably not today, but we shall be doing some case studies relating to chapter 4 of what we have read up till now, probably day after tomorrow. Okay, so meanwhile, it is better for you to once again go through from your module and establish the concepts in your mind, so that you will be in a better position to understand the case studies and answer them in a better way also. Yes, Manish, yes, he needs to, the as per SA 501 manage, the auditor has to need permission from the management to directly communicate with the external legal counsel. Yes, yes, Meenakshi, the management can stop. Yes, Nagbala, Murugan, you are saying example for other audit procedures auditor can perform when he was not able to get appropriate evidence from lawyer. These can relate to, say, reviewing legal documents. Say the auditor can review the reply which has been filed by the company to understand better about the case. The auditor can review correspondence with the lawyer, between the lawyer and the company. So Murugan, the point is how to get evidence to gain clarity about understanding of the matter which is in litigation. So if the auditor gets to know about the replies filed by the company, then he would be in a better position to know where the case is headed or in which direction it is going. What are the grounds which the company is taking? Okay. Yes, Gaurav, you are asking at page number 4.77, point number 4. Please clarify consistency with prior period in segment reporting. So Gaurav, it simply means कि पिछले सालों में मैनेजमेंट ने सेगमेंट इंफॉर्मेशन कैसे डिस्क्लोज की थी, क्या मेथड लगाए थे, और वो क्या इस साल में भी वही मेथड लगा रही है. कंसिस्टेंसी मींस वेदर दे आर सेम. If they are not same, then whether the changes made have been proper and whether these have been disclosed. Consistency means which should be applied consistently, regularly, uniformly, or from a period to period basis. Clear to you, Gaurav? Yes, Swati Krishna, I have already explained in-house legal counsel and external legal counsel. Yes, Gaurav, you are asking external companies का information, for example, email ID, mobile number कहाँ से मिलता है? ये बिल से मिलेगा. अगर आप सेल बिल्स है, बिल से मिलेगा और कंपनी इसको कंफर्म करेगी. जो जिस कंपनी के आप ऑडिटर हैं वो भी बताएगी कि प्रेजेंट ईमेल आईडी एड्रेसेस यही हैं. सो दिस इज अगेन एन एग्जांपल ऑफ कॉपरेशन or providing the information, all information required by the auditor. अगर कंपनी नहीं देती है तो what does it mean? It means that company doesn't want auditor to send external confirmation request. Then auditor should get alert that there is a risk of material misstatement, there is a risk of fraud. Okay. Yes, and Madhav, if management is misleading auditor or material misstatements, any punishment for? So, again, if management is misleading, it means it may be committing in fraud. So there are relevant section in Companies Act. But if the management is simply not providing the information to the auditor, then there is no specific thing, specific punishment for it. The auditor would give his modified opinion, and it may in turn alert the regulators for taking action against the company. Okay, if the auditor gives say adverse opinion or disclaimer of opinion, then it may prompt the regulator. So in an indirect way, it can have some consequence. Otherwise, if the management misleads, then the auditor cannot go to somebody and say, look, management is misleading me, take some action against them. No, that's not the case. Yes, homogeneous, explain, Navneet, I have already explained to you. Homogeneous, probably you are talking about negative confirmation request. Yes, Vaishali Bindal, you are saying fourth point in negative request. Fourth point in negative request, you are saying. Yes, fourth point is this I have already explained to you. Vaishali, the auditor is not aware of circumstances that recipients of negative confirmation request would disregard such a request. That audit, it means that say that auditor is not aware of any such thing that the persons to whom negative confirmation requests are being sent, they would not consider his requests. They would not throw these requests in a dustbin. Like previously, say also other three circumstances exist, and the auditor has sent negative confirmation requests to such persons, then response to such negative confirmation requests has come. So the auditor knows that the persons are likely to respond, okay, to the negative confirmation requests. Yes, Kalkotar Jayesh bhai, again fourth point I have cleared to Vishali. Same is your query. Swati Krishna, you are asking, please explain information in blank once again. Now this point relates to positive confirmation request. Say when the auditor sends positive confirmation request, he either asks the party either to agree with the information sent or disagree. Okay, but he may also choose to keep the information blank. The auditor says please check the information from your records and write the balance which is appearing in your records of the company. So it acts as an additional safeguard that the information provided by the confirming party is correct. Because in that the party would at least be checking from its own record. He would that confirming party would not have any handy information in its hand. So when the auditor writes the amount, then somebody may just sign and send it back to the auditor without verifying it in his own records. There is a possibility, but when the information is left blank, there is no such possibility. So this is the meaning of this point. Yes, Swati Krishna, is it clear to you? Yes. Meenakshi, you are saying please solve test your understanding page 9. Okay. We'll discuss it. Manish Kumar, difference between litigation and claims. These are the same things. Litigations mean matters in dispute which are in court of law, and claims again it is an expansion of it, and claims involving the entity. Claims mean some sort of claim for which the company may be held liable for some amount, for some monetary amount for which the company may be held liable, or for some action for which the company may be held liable. So these are claims involving the entity. Okay. So Manish, SA 501 doesn't make distinction between these things. It elaborates them as these are generally. Okay. Harish Chandar, you are saying disagreed of requested information and exception is same. Disagreed of requested information and exception is same. Yes, when the exception is a means of evaluation. Disagreement has to come from the confirming party. So the other party may agree or may not agree. He may agree or disagree. But exception is used in the context of auditor. When the auditor evaluates, he sees what is the exception. Okay. Yes, Rahul Patel, you are asking, suppose in external confirmation letter, the lawyer confirms that company is going to win the dispute, but the company made a provision. Then what should auditor do then? So the company should not have made a provision. It is a over provisioning. So when a provision is made, it means that company is admitting some liability. It is booking some expense. So it is rather understating it may lead to understatement of profits. So the auditor would ask the company to correct the misstatement that provision is not needed in this case as per AS 29. Yes, difference between litigation and claim, same thing. Yes, Harish Chandar, you are asking letter of query and letter of specific query. से स्टूडेंट्स लेटर ऑफ क्वेरी, पहली बात तो ये हरीश चंदर, लेटर ऑफ क्वेरी नहीं है, लेटर ऑफ इंक्वायरी है. द वर्ड इज इंक्वायरी नॉट क्वेरी. तभी मैं स्टूडेंट्स आपको कहता हूं आप लिखने से पहले आप पहले वर्ड्स को याद तो करें. स्टूडेंट्स याद नहीं करेंगे तो आप एग्जाम में कुछ का कुछ लिखाएंगे जिसका मतलब ही कुछ निकलेगा. से अगर आप इंक्वायरी की जगह क्वेरी वर्ड यूज करते हैं ऑडिटिंग के पेपर में तो आपको एग्जामिनर नंबर नहीं देने वाला, वो क्रॉस लगाएगा, क्योंकि वर्ड प्रॉपर यूज करना इंक्वायरी ही है. तो आपको इंक्वायरी ही यूज करना पड़ेगा। तो इसलिए ये हैबिट आप अभी से बना लें अपनी। सो डिफरेंस बिटवीन जनरल लेटर ऑफ इंक्वायरी एंड लेटर ऑफ स्पेसिफिक इंक्वायरी का मतलब है कि जनरल लेटर ऑफ इंक्वायरी तो एक सिर्फ वो लॉयर को लिख रहा है कि आप केस के बारे में दीजिए, वो स्पेसिफिक वो कुछ केसेस का रेफरेंस दे के लिख रहा है कि ये मैटर्स हैं, मैनेजमेंट का ये व्यू पॉइंट है, आपका व्यू पॉइंट क्या है, मैनेजमेंट की ये असेसमेंट है। स्पेसिफिक एंड जनरल, स्पेसिफिक रिलेट्स टू सम स्पेसिफिक मैटर्स। ओके हरीश चंद्र, क्लियर है आपको? यस स्वाति, यू आर सेइंग explain the reasonableness of entity refusing the auditor. Swati, I have already explained in detail, so you can rewind the video. This point has already been covered, that in some case there may be genuineness in request of management to allow the auditor to send refusal, to refuse the auditor to allow him to send a confirmation request. जैसे उसका किसी क्लाइंट के साथ कोई नेगोशिएशन चल रही है पैसे रिकवरी के बारे में, और यह मैटर वो ऑलरेडी अंडर डिस्प्यूट है, और उनकी आउट एंड सम आउट ऑफ कोर्ट सेटलमेंट इज गोइंग ऑन between the company and the third party. So, and the management is of the view that negotiations out of the court settlement in such a case is at a delicate situation. Now, if the auditor sends a confirmation request, that would be a unnecessary irritant. So, other party, it may derail the negotiations. So, that is an example of reasonableness of not allowing the auditor to send a confirmation request. Okay. No, Zahida, he has to inform the company. See, the auditor does all the things, all the procedures by taking into confidence the management. All the procedures are performed by him, by informing, by letting the management know. He tells them, like, look, I am going to perform these procedures. So like if he doesn't tell them, then he may end up sending confirmation request at the wrong address. It might happen that party's address has changed and he is sending confirmation request at some previous address. Then he would not get anything. No reliable outcome would come, and the letter may come back. So therefore he has to, these things have to be informed. So you now try to correlate it with chapter 2. So you remember chapter 2, Zahida, audit plan. In audit plan, we had learned that auditor can discuss the parts of elements of audit plan with the management. He can discuss that what I am going to do. The management should know, so that it also helps in facilitating the audit. Okay. Meenakshi, yes. What will auditor do when he finds illogical reason for not letting him take external confirmation? Say if he finds, Meenakshi, that management's request is not reasonable, then he would become alert. He would consider that risk of material misstatement has increased and there is a possibility of fraud risk also. Then he may have to modify his opinion, because say the auditor is conducted on the assumption that the management would cooperate and it would provide all the necessary information to the auditor for conducting his audit. Okay, this you have already read. So if the management is now, when the audit is in process, is not allowing the auditor to perform certain procedure, then it acts as a limitation on his ability to perform the audit. It is a very serious matter. it acts as a limitation on the scope of audit. So this point also you would be reading in coming chapters. Yes, Meenakshi, is this clear to you? No, Prince, no. In practical life, confirmations are not asked on WhatsApp. It should be properly addressed. And say WhatsApp is a kind of social media. You can't ask the confirmation requests on WhatsApp, on Facebook. Are these media to are these methods, are these mediums for conducting audit? No, not at all. Yes, Shivam, what if third party asks management for information without telling auditor and fill blank spaces? Shivam, what you are asking, what if third party asks management for information? Yes. Now this you are talking about hypothetical situation, assumptive situations. Third party asks if this happens, okay, if this happens, then let it be. The auditor has no means to check it. वो कोई ऑडिटर कोई फोन कॉल थोड़ा ट्रेस करेगा उसकी. Yes, Mansi Gupta, which point you are asking me to repeat again? Which point you are asking me to repeat again? Yes, all these things, when the auditor gives his opinion, once he has given his opinion, he has submitted his report. There are certain circumstances which when he has issued the report in case of subsequent events. So you would be reading in separate chapter when there are separate duties are cast upon the auditor in this regard. Yes, Kalkotar, Jayesh Bhai. Yes, Mansi, which point you are asking me to repeat? So, students, we quickly do some questions. Are you ready for some correct, incorrect type questions? Yes. Yes, guys, is the screen visible to you? So, very simple questions. Yes, guys, come on. Audit evidence consists of information in accounting records. Yes, Mansi Gupta, assertion level, what you are saying assertion level? Please write clearly which point, which page number you want to ask. So for the time being, you can do questions, Mansi, and drop your mail. I'll see at the end. Audit evidence consists of information contained in accounting records only. Yes, again, students, when you do such type of questions, remember that in exams you have to write the reason also. So no credit if you write only correct or incorrect. In exams you will get credit only if you write with reason. So it is, as you all are writing correctly, this is incorrect. Because the audit evidence consists of information contained in accounting records and other information. It consists both. So Komal Prajapati, how you are writing it is correct. Accounting records only लिखा हुआ है. कोमल, जो इंफॉर्मेशन ऑडिटर को मिलती है, अब जो एक्सटर्नल कंफर्मेशन रिक्वेस्ट से इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रही है, उसका रिस्पांस मिल रहा है, तो क्या ये अकाउंटिंग रिकॉर्ड से आ रहा है? ये तो इंडिपेंडेंटली पार्टी से आ रहा है. या कोई मिनट बुक्स कंपनी की ऑडिटर पढ़ रहा है, तो इज इट अकाउंटिंग रिकॉर्ड? नो, इट इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ अदर इंफॉर्मेशन. सो दिस इज इनकरेक्ट. No, Tothi Jagpati, you are saying because there is word only. No, in exam you cannot write that because there is word only, so this is incorrect. You have to write the correct reason. You have to state that audit evidence means the information which is contained in accounting records and other information. It doesn't contain information contained in accounting records only. So that should be the proper way, proper answer. Then you will be getting the full credit. Then you will be getting a complete 2 marks. Yes. Question number 2. Usually bulk of the evidence that auditor gets is internal in nature. Yes. Bulk of the evidence which the auditor gets is internal in nature. Usually bulk of the evidence the auditor gets is internal in nature. Is this correct? Yes. Students, now look, it is a very simple question, but still many of you are answering it wrongly. Rito Banerjee, how you are saying that it is incorrect? The question is saying bulk of evidence. So auditor gets evidence from both sources, internal as well external. This is true, but it is talking about bulk. Main evidence auditor के पास कहां से आता है? It is internal in nature. Bulk means quantity. It means quantity. ज्यादा एविडेंस तो ऑडिटर के पास रीतो comes from the internal records of the company, like sales bills, like accounting records, like minutes of the meeting, okay, like credit notes issued by the company, like stock records, okay. So these are all examples of internal evidence. So external evidence तो थोड़ा ही होता है, although it is more reliable, but वो उसकी it is talking about quantity तो उसकी कम ही होती है overall. So कई बार स्टूडेंट्स हम सिंपल क्वेश्चन भी गलत कर देते हैं. And third is the reliability of audit evidence that is generated internally is increased when the related controls, including those over preparation and maintenance imposed by entity, are effective. Very simple, straightforward question. Yes, tell me guys whether question 3 is correct. That reliability of audit evidence that is generated internally is increased when the controls are functioning effectively. Now, Prajakta, I am telling you simultaneously, I am telling you the reasons. Simultaneously, I am also telling you how to write reasons for this in your exams. Now look, Prajakta, now this statement is correct. This, all of you know that this statement is correct. So you have to write that this statement is correct, because when the controls are functioning effectively, okay, it is more likely that that company's procedures are being, that management's procedures, that procedures devised by the management are being adhered to, or that management's procedures are being followed. So it helps auditor, it gives comfort to the auditors that controls are operating effectively. Therefore, it leads to reliability of internal audit, or reliability of audit evidence. So just 2 lines. First, you state that this statement is correct. It is due to the reason, and then start it with like this. It is due to the reason that, and write 1 or 2 lines in your own words. So students, auditing में आंसर जो है it is derived from the question also. अगर आप क्वेश्चन को ध्यान से पढ़ते हैं, if you understand question properly, then you can derive your answer from it in many cases. So प्राजक्ता क्लियर है आपको? Yes, प्राजक्ता, tell whether it is clear to you. So you can write in other way also. You can write that the statement is correct because since the controls are operating effectively, it will reduce the control risk, as Manish Kumar is saying, and therefore reliability of audit evidence is increased. This is also correct. So whatever valid reasons you are giving, that should make sense. Point is that should make sense, and you would get full credit. Yes, fourth is appropriateness is measure of quantity of audit evidence. Yes, very simple. Appropriateness is measure of quantity of audit evidence. Is it measure of quantity of audit evidence? Yes. So you would write that this statement is incorrect. You would state that appropriateness is measure of quality of audit evidence, or there is another way of writing it. Somebody can also write that sufficiency is measure of quantity of audit evidence. This answer is also right. This is also right way of answering. So so whatever be the valid reason, you have to write it properly. So institute gives credit for both kind of answers. It gives alternative answers also. It doesn't mean that if some student is written in one way, then another can't be correct, but that has to be proper and valid. Point is, but the students do not at the first place write proper and valid answers. Yes. So what is fifth? The management's refusal to provide the requested representation can also constitute audit evidence. Yes, whether it is correct or not correct. The management's refusal to provide a requested representation can also constitute audit evidence. Yes, guys, you are finding it a tricky one. No, it is very simple, straight question. So it is also correct, guys. अगर मैनेजमेंट आपको कोई इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं देती है, अगर सपोज इफ यू राइट ए मेल on some matter to management and management doesn't respond to it, then it is also an evidence. It shows that you asked information from management and management didn't provide you. So it is a sort of indirect audit evidence, implied audit evidence. Okay. So okay, so let us do some more questions, students. Yes. Materiality is one of the factors affecting auditor's judgment as to sufficiency of audit evidence. Yes. Whether this statement is correct or not. Yes, Prajakta, now your reason is correct. Yes, this is good. Materiality is one of the factors affecting auditor's judgment as to sufficiency of audit evidence. whether materiality affects auditor's judgment, whether audit evidence is sufficient or not. Yes, definitely this is correct. Materiality is one of the factors which affects auditor judgment to see whether a matter is sufficient or not. Higher the materiality, okay. So if then more evidence would be required, and lower the materiality, less evidence would be required. So this way you have to write the reason for it. Audit evidence is obtained by performing audit procedures. Yes. Yes, Rahul Patel, you have written rightly. That should be the appropriate way to write. Just one line, state that it is correct, and just write one line with proper reason. You would get full 2 marks. Nobody can stop that. Yes. Audit evidence is obtained by performing audit procedures. Yes, this is also correct. You have to write that audit evidence is the information which is used by the auditor, and it is performed by various audit procedures. Like you can say, you can expand on it, like inspection, observation, external confirmation. So by performing audit procedures, the auditor obtains information. So which is used by him in drawing conclusions to arrive at his opinion. So it is the way how you mold the things. The answer, the thing you have to understand is that you have to develop an ability to mold the things, to make them relevant to the question being asked. So that is an art, students, which you would learn slowly. And this art, remember, is not restricted to auditing alone. It, again, I am telling you, it applies to every CA subject. Every, mark my words. How to write answer, how to artfully write answer, relating it with the question is a skill. Number 3 is inspection involves examining documents or physical examination of an asset. Yes, whether this statement is correct or incorrect. Again, this statement is correct. So incorrect statement, here you can expand it. The way of writing is, reason for it is, you can expand it. You can write that inspection means examining documents like so and so, and physical examination of asset like seeing plant and facility. Both examining documents and physical examination of an asset fall within the meaning of inspection. So this is a way of answering. So all of you guys who have been stating that, sir, how to write answers in the paper, tell us how to write descriptive answers. So this is the art, this is a skill which I am telling you. So number 4, inquiries include formal written inquiries only. Yes. Inquiries include formal written inquiries only. No, students. 4th is incorrect. यहाँ पे आप ट्रैप हो गए स्टूडेंट्स. Here it is talking about inquiry, general inquiries. So inquiries mean inquiries include formal written inquiries and oral inquiries also. When you are seeking information, even general discussion with the management, you are also making certain inquiries. So these include formal written inquiries also and oral inquiries also. This is not connected with external confirmation. When we are talking about external confirmation, then it means sending written confirmation requests and evaluating their response. Here we are talking inquiry can be oral also. Informal inquiries can be oral also. And fifth is assertions. Assertions are representations by auditors to consider different type of potential misstatements. Yes. Whether this statement is correct or incorrect. Yes, Swati Krishna, you are right. So here the word auditors is wrong. So assertions are representations by management and are used by auditor to consider different types of potential misstatement. So this is also incorrect. Okay. So straight away you go to the definition of assertions in your mind. And remember what we had done, that assertions are representations by management embodied in financial statements, present in financial statements, whether explicit or otherwise, and are used by the auditor to consider probable misstatements, to consider potential misstatements. So this is the definition of assertions. So this statement is incorrect. Auditor assertions are not representations made by auditor. These are used by the auditor. These are used by the auditor. Okay guys, so students, thoda sa whether your understanding has increased or whether your level of understanding is increasing, whether you are now thinking logically, whether you are now thinking analytically, taking into all the things together, linking one thing with another. If you are doing so, then guys you are on right track, and be it on the right track. This would help you in all your CA exams of in all subjects. Okay guys, so it is over for today. See you again on Wednesday. Thank you so much guys. Thanks a lot.